before we get started, is there anything you would like to ask? So different, you know, all over the world when you give, all over the country when you give seminars. Seattle, I can't keep their hands down. And this area, it's like, well, we'll see what she has to say next. Yeah. And you'll be a happy person? You're a catalyst. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Yes. That's a good question. Let me get to that in a minute. Because that's a really marvelous one, because that entails karma. So hold that. Yes. Yes. Right. And your own relative happiness. Now, she just asked a very, very important question. She said, what if your happiness involves someone else? This is a big cry that so many people say. But before we get to that, let's talk about our option lines. We have, as we said, our karma and our dharma, which is our responsibility to do something. Our karma is our experiencing. You remember that? Okay. We have our themes, first and second. We have our emotion or spirituality that we're working on. And we have our option line. Now, the option line is a very, very strange phenomena. And I never understood years ago. I started really realizing and researching it about 20 years ago. That a person would come in to the reading room and I would get the health. And I would get the spirituality. And I'd get to his love life and it would just all wiggle on me. Or I would get to the love life and it'd be perfect, and I'd get to the spiritual, I'd get to the health, and it would just wiggle on me. And I thought, what the hell is that? Why is that? And so, like a real smart, clever person, right? Finally, after all this time, I said to my guide, why is it that some people have these different lines that wobble? She said, because that's their option line, like I'm a dummy. I said, what do you mean that's their option line? She said, everything has been programmed before by them, the whole chart. But there's always one area they leave open to program when they come in. See, your option line is your personal life. That's why we're getting to that. And when it's your personal life, let's just use yours, your personal life, is that no matter what you try to do sometimes, see, yours is your personal, mine's my family. Okay? And it can be your finances, your spirituality, your health. Any one of those can be your option line. Any part of your life can be your option line. And that's why it's so bad in one sense, is that you seem to be victimized by it, but in another sense, we never knew we could program it in. See, we always thought, well, everything's programmed, I can't do anything about that. But we can, because the option line is up for grabs. It's all bets are off. So you come in and I say to myself, no matter what I try to do, why can't I get all of these idiot people in my family to be together, be nice, do this, do that? They're all running different ways. Now, it also is option line is what bothers you the most. If it didn't bother me, it wouldn't be my option line. It is the one or the personal life. You say, but Sylvia, your personal life, I read your book or whatever, and it hasn't been that great. Big deal. This is the one that bothered me. This is the one I have to concentrate on. This is the one I have to get. They're going to be happy, they're going to be right, they're going to be nice, they're going to be good, they're going to be this, and deal with it. I'm going to program it. Okay. If your happiness then, and this is your option line, which it is hers, depends on someone else, in the first place, and this is not to be mean to you, no happiness should ever depend on someone else. That's the most deadly place we can ever be for us. Many mothers will say, if my children are happy, I'm just as guilty of that. Then I'll be happy. That's deadly. Because I'm taking away my spirituality and putting it on somebody else and expecting you to love me or do whatever to make me happy. And you say, I don't choose to participate. What do I do? So what you've got to do, it's not wrong to make someone else part of your happiness, but you can't have them your happiness. See what I'm saying? And once you get out of that, we all have done it. Once you get out of that mix, it becomes so much better. I want to be happy for me. I can't be happy whether she's here or not. I love for her to be here, but I can't depend on her for my happiness, or him, or her. So in your option line, and a lot of you have personal option lines, personal life, and under that is personal family, and then we have spirituality, we have finances, or career. These can all be the option lines. The emotion that we're working on can blend very well with the theme. I have the theme of humanitarian and loner. Can you believe that? In my life. You say, how can, see, you're one of the few though. They say, what do you mean loner, Sylvia, when you have so many people around you? They don't see. They don't see that the loner is me. The loner is my ability or whatever. I'm totally isolated and alone. Am I lonely? No, 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 no. So you have your two themes. You have your option line. You have the emotion you're working on. My emotion that I'm working on, even though it seems to be a theme, is patience. And it's patience with stupidity. And I have not arrived yet. Because I find myself saying, like last night, why don't people think? Why do they let somebody else handle their spirituality? Why do they give their soul away to someone else to deal with? Why don't they think? And I'm not sure, as much as I try to work on it, that I've completed the emotion of patience. Because it has become an emotion to me. And probably on my deathbed, I'm going to say, let's hurry up and do this. But you keep working on it. Somebody was telling me they went to a seminar this last week with a man down in L.A. who says he's a Messiah, which always makes me real thrilled about that. That he already had arrived. Trust no one that says they've arrived in this life. If they've arrived, they shouldn't be here. They've arrived on the other side. All right, so stop and think what your programming can do. You say, okay, I pretty much got that settled. I know that I have spirituality. I'm working to that. My finances. What about my career? How much would my happiness or my programming depend on my career? How many of us? Raise your hand. How many feel that way? Good. I'd rather it would depend on a career than another person. You say, but aren't careers other people? Career is very much, though, what you give to it. So is a relationship, for that matter. But a career can be architecture. It can be programming, computer programming. It doesn't depend on anything except you with what you're doing. It's more mono-focused than to say, if you don't love me, I'm not happy anymore. So can you program that away from you? Can you say, okay, it would be nice, it would make me happier, but it's not my happiness to be with someone else. And sometimes the harder we push on that, the harder we squeeze that or want it, the person is elusive like a bar of soap. They go. Because I think personally it's too much responsibility for the other person and too much responsibility for you. If you die, I'll die. Isn't that frightening? Oh my God, and I'm holding both of us up. My youngest son said to me one day, when you die, I'll go. This was when he was much younger. I thought, what does that mean? I have to keep living so he'll live? I mean, that's depressing. So Make no man or woman or thing your happiness. You program your happiness. Now, do you understand about the option lines? You've pretty well figured out, haven't you, what your option line is, the one you can't pull together? Yes, Reba? It can kick in late in life. You can't see people say to me constantly, Reba, I want to get more spiritual. I think to myself, they have no idea what they're getting into. See, we think we're going to go out here and step off the curb and Christ is going to come down the road and the flowers will spring out and we will hear angels sing. We step off that curb to go into the spiritual life and we get bramble bushes and a truck hits us. We say, oh, wait a minute. It can come on at any point of your life. When your spirituality rises up, then so does the option line and everything else. She said, wait a minute. Everything becomes more glaring.